What's the gossip?
Gossip in the Grove.
What's the gossip?
Gossip in the Grove.
What's the gossip?
Hello and welcome to Gossip in the Grove. And today I'm going to have Miss Scarlett introduce our special guest from MB Roland.
All right. So I'm your co-host Scarlett Mayfield, and today we have Mary Beth from MB Roland.
Hello.
It's so great to have you.
I was giving you that pause to do the
I know.
Tomaszewski at the end.
Tomaszewski.
Yeah. Well, you see, what happened was I didn't have enough time to ask you how to say it.
I don't blame you.
Tomaszewski. Yes.
Oh.
So welcome. We are so happy to have you as our special guest and all about bourbon and MB Roland Distillery. So I want to know when and how you all came to Oak Grove, Pembroke, Christian County with your business. Tell us a little bit about that background.
Okay. So I actually I'm from the area. When I say the area, I mean Western Kentucky, Middle Tennessee area. So I grew up in Adams, right down the road.
Oh, you did Adams, Tennessee. I did not know that.
Yeah, home of the Bell Witch.
Yeah, I was going to say home of the Bell Witch.
I'm not the witch, depending on who you ask, of course.
Wait, so if you grew up out there, did you experience any like spooky stuff?
There's been a couple of times to where it was a little bit odd. I grew up about a mile from the cave, the Bell Witch Cave.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
That's a little freaky.
Yeah, because it's like a true story. And stuff.
yeah. But so there have been a few instances actually in the cave that were a little unnerving, but nothing terrifying.
Oh, okay.
Well, so now that you were there and then you moved.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I met Paul in 2005. He was in the military. And I was living in Clarksville at the time. Had been in the banking industry for quite a few years. And we met, obviously got engaged. He got out of the service, and he had formed a passion for whiskey during his time in the service. He is from Louisiana, so they have a background of drinking, but not maybe not so much of appreciation for a fine spirit. So he did learn that when he got here, and just randomly one day he said, I've been trying to think of exactly what I want to do when I get out, and he says, I really think I want to start a distillery, and I just looked at him. I was like, seriously?
What?
Your family didn't come from that. Mine didn't come from that. Where is this coming from?
Yeah.
And at the time, the wineries had gone through a real revolution to where you had a lot of small farm wineries. The breweries did the same thing. And so he was on top of it. He saw distilleries going through that also. And so we literally... sounds terrible, but we sold so much stuff to get the funds for it.
Oh, wow.
We got a small bank loan, and we started very small because, when you're doing something for the first time, because it is still illegal to distill alcohol without a license,
Right.
despite what a lot
Just-
of people may think. It really is. So we're going to do things the right way. But we allowed ourselves room to grow and make those mistakes early on in the business if there were some to make. So we started with a little small 100-gallon pot still. But we wanted to do something different. We didn't want to do what everyone else had done. So we decided to go with a pre-prohibition style of whiskey. And what that means is basically we sourced all of our grains locally. The barrels we get from Kelvin, and they happen to actually get their wood right down the road. So within 100 miles, we were sourcing all of our grains and all of our wood that we could for making our own spirit. It makes a completely different type of spirit. We use food grade white corn instead of a yellow dent, which is very starchy and doesn't have a lot of flavor to it. the white corn really still comes through in that spirit. You know, it's used for food items, and that's what we wanted to put in our drink. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. What year was it that you guys, when you guys first? When you guys.
2009.
I remember when it was so new because I actually took a tour and it was you walked in and and Paul would give us a lowdown on what, and it was so interesting because it wasn't big, it wasn't very big, but it was very, very interesting. Just the way that for his passion too. I mean, he has a lot of passion in that too.
Oh, he does.
So, and from then to now, because I was out there, a couple of weeks ago. Oh my gosh, you have grown so much, and it is just amazing. It's an amazing property, anyways. And I remember when you did the picking on the porch and all that when you first got that done, and everybody was it was in all of that because it was just so fun. You go out there and you sit and you listen and you have your MB Roland spirits, and it was just really, really, really cool. So I do remember all of that. And now you've got a beautiful mural that was painted. I mean, it's like
It's so pretty. So
and
pretty.
and Scarlett and Ari actually took photos in it and
With the cat. There was
with
a cat
with the
us.
cat.
Oh yeah, red probably.
But yeah, so it was. I mean, I think it's just for this area alone. I think it's what we needed on the tourism side.
Thank you.
I think this is something that everybody, especially me, I can sink my teeth in because I always still claim you. I always claim Mary Beth. It's like, she's mine.
We're only about, a mile out of the city limits.
So we do, so when we go to the trade shows and all that stuff, we constantly, we have, you're on our pictures and stuff, and we're constantly saying, okay, you can come and you can tour MB Roland Distillery, and here's, some tour about. So it does. People gravitate towards that,
And we appreciate it.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, because it helps you and it helps us,
Right, yep.
And so I just think that with everything, I know you have some plans, some
We do.
other plans. Would you care to share?
Absolutely. So we had these plans before COVID. I know you mentioned picking on the porch, and COVID kind of killed a lot of
that,
things,
yes.
unfortunately.
Yes.
But we are in the process of bringing back some of the music. They're a little bit of a change. We're doing ticketed events so that way we are able to control the crowd as well as make sure that we're staffing appropriately,
Right.
But as far as expansion plans go, we are going to take the dairy barn that is currently not being used for the public. We use it for storage now, but that is going to be turned into a retail location.
Oh, wow.
I know. I can't wait.
so-
That's awesome.
Not only that, that's just one piece of it. We're going to be adding in a cafe, and I'm not going to go into details on a lot of that right now because it's still in a lot of the works.
Right.
But we'll be adding a F&B option. We're going to be adding a lot of outdoor games. We want people to enjoy staying on the property and fully experiencing the countryside because a lot of travelers that come see us, they're coming from bigger cities with a lot of concrete.
Right.
They don't get to hear those birds chirping.
Right.
They don't really get to sit out and just feel
That country vibe.
Yeah, seriously. Smell that country air and see the farmers working in the fields because we are in the middle of 100 acres of farmland and surrounded by farmers. So there's a lot of times of the year you can actually just sit and have a cocktail and watch them doing their thing.
So exciting.
So we're adding that, and then we're adding some more retail area as well. So we're just starting it. So we're in the process of getting it going.
Well, it's going to be really cool because it's right behind Buc-ee's. At Buc-ee's, you guys are going to be right behind Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
So that is going to be very, very positive, especially when we do like bus tours or something. That's going to be awesome with your area, with all the stuff that you're going to get ready to build and stuff.
Right.
So I thought that's going to be. I can always see it. I can just sink my teeth into it now and just say, this is going to be so. It's going to be great for the whole
gets
county.
really excited.
I do. I get so excited about it because when you were explaining to me, I was like, oh my God! I've just just me thinking of so much of how how positive it's going to be and how great it's going to be for you, MB Roland, and for tourism, and I mean for Oak Grove tourism and Hopkinsville tourism. I mean, it's going to be benefit all of us. You
It
know?
really will.
So, and I'm really excited about it. So
We are too, I mean, but you've seen our gift shop, we're working with about 900 square feet, and you get a busy day, and we're juggling people trying to make sure that we're providing the best service that we can.
Yeah. And
But,
you got some amazing stuff in your gift shop
Yeah,
too.
I really want to go back and get some dog toys. Get some cute dog toys in there.
Well, we are not only are we family friendly, we're dog friendly as
friendly.
well.
I think when I first went and toured it, I think I was greeted by a cat.
Cat friendly.
I was great, and it'll come up and rub against your leg. It'll like purr.
Yes.
It's so
I'm
cute.
pretty sure that's probably Red. He is determined that everyone is there to see
Yeah,
him, not quite so much to see us at all.
So, are you and Paul? Are you all into the MB Roland now, or because I know Paul started it, but now you're totally engrossed and you're like.
Oh yeah, and I've been in it since the beginning.
Yeah.
It's just that I was still working at the bank for quite a few years while
Got it. Get it started.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Got to get it started somehow.
Yeah.
And we decided a lot of distilleries, and which, please don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it in a negative fashion. We just chose not to go this route. But a lot of distilleries will purchase bourbon from other distilleries,
Really.
put their label on it, and call it theirs. And again, that's their choice. That's nothing wrong with that. But our stuff is going to be so different and so unique. Yeah. There's no transitioning out of that when our stuff does come to age.
Right.
So we didn't want to do that. We decided that we would go with the unaged spirits and stick with that. And that would be the main source of income until the bourbon and the whiskeys came of age. So that's one of the reasons why it took us a few years to get that bourbon out, because we did not want to source.
Right.
And it really, you think about it, if we just opened up and all of a sudden we've got a 10-year-old bourbon, is that really ours? How,
Yeah.
you see?
How can that be
I mean,
yours? Exactly.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So, but that's and it's legal. It's not anything
Right.
wrong
But
with it.
you're different, and that's good because you are totally yours. I mean,
Yes.
it's your
Yes.
recipe.
It's everything.
It's everything of you, and I think it's really exciting because I know that you traveled and you went like all across the U.S. selling your product, and it has really worked out well for you.
It has.
You have got it in a lot of different states, do you not?
We do.
So tell us about what states you do have them in now.
So, well, one thing I want to point out, we are in these states. Now, you're not going to find us in every liquor store. Again, we're not a huge brand where we're trying to take over the world.
Right.
Let's say that if you were comparing us in something a little bit more food sourced, let's say chocolate, for instance. Everybody can get Hershey chocolate. Everybody. Ghirardelli started off really small, but they're higher end, and that's what they're focused on. We're that. We're Ghirardelli of the bourbons. We're not so much of one of the other bigger brands. So, having said that, you can find us in Illinois, obviously Kentucky and Tennessee. I mean, that's a given. But as well as Illinois, you can find us in Florida. You can find us in California, Arizona, Nevada, in Texas.
Wow.
You can actually also have it shipped via online through some of our suppliers. But D.C., Maryland, we're up there. And I'm just off the top of my head,
So was it difficult? I mean, did it take you a while to actually, when you traveled? Was people open to it when you would meet?
They were open to it. So in the distribution world, in the bourbon world, you have to go through a distributor to get it to the stores, to your retailers. So Paul and I couldn't just pack up our juice and head out and sell it.
Right.
So Wisconsin's another one. They do so well. We just had a gentleman from Steinbrink's, one of their stores. Anyway, he came and picked 2 barrels, thinking he was going to get one. So and it made me think of Wisconsin, which a lot of our distributors. This is how we got them. We didn't go out and just throw out our juice to everyone and say, please try it. What do you think? Would love to be with you.
Right.
Their salespeople would stop in. They'd be on vacation, and they would try our spirits, and they were like, oh, my God, this is so different. This is delicious. We should pick
Especially
you
if
up.
it's that lemonade one. just putting that out there.
I'm pretty sure that lemonade one is responsible for a couple of military children because that's what happened when they would come back from deployment. It's terrible. You're going to have to cut
Deployment
that out. But
You're not wrong.
they would come back.
Like Pam said, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong. I'm a military spouse.
Okay,
and you're deployment babies and TDY babies.
But yeah,
I don't know what it is about that. That there alone is like, oh my God. So I don't know if there's a little special recipe or whatever, but I was like, oh my God, this is one of the best tasting.
well, it really
it really is good.
everything we do, it not only is it made from scratch, but it's all delicious and all natural,
yeah.
and there's no additives or flavorings. That's actually real pink lemonade in that.
I know.
So that's why it settles. Shake
That's
it
why
up,
it's so-
serve it cloudy.
That's why it's so dangerous.
Because it tastes just like pink lemonade.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
So now, not only do you do that, but you have a type of a tequila now, don't you?
Technically, we can't call it a tequila.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's tequila, not tequila. Yes.
Okay, because I think
Yeah.
that's what when I went there and the girl was doing. She said, "Well, it's tequila, but not tequila." I'm like,
Did you try it?
No, I was driving. I could try it. I know. I was going to, but I was like, I can't do
She's
it.
always so good when she visits. She's
try.
like, no, I'm on the job.
I'm on the
Can't-
job, I can't do this. So that's a different recipe that
That is, we actually get the juice from Mexico. We get the blue agave,
okay.
and then we distill that down. We age it in our own used bourbon barrels, and so that it legitimately is the same spirit, just not made in the same area.
I got you.
So it can't be called the same
Exactly.
thing.
Just
Right.
like Kentucky owns bourbon, or not Kentucky, the United States own bourbon. Kentucky just has 95% of it. So
Bottled and bond.
Yeah. I think it's so. I think the whole process was just. It blows my mind because I'm like, man, I don't see how you. I mean, how do you do that? And even when he explains it, it's just I can't comprehend how it's all done. Even though you're right there and he's explaining everything and how it's processed and stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think it's.
I think it's really cool too that everything that you use is local. Like I feel like that makes it so special.
yeah, and I agree with that. That was one of the things how when we first got started, again, in order to stand out, if you're going to do the same thing everybody else is doing, what makes you different? And if nothing else, we're unique.
Right.
Say that.
I think it's amazing because you are right by I-24. I mean,
Right
you're
by it,
right there.
Yeah.
So I mean, because when people see your
Yeah.
big sign and say, well, I'm gonna go try that, So
Yeah.
because you guys do tours as well,
We do.
and
Open 7 days
yeah,
a week.
Yeah. So I think that when they see it, they see the big sign. Let's go. And so that's a positive thing. And of course, we do the same thing. We if you ever know Grove, you want to go to a distillery, please, and we give them the address and stuff. So I think it's just all the way around. I think it's amazing. It's amazing what you guys do, anyways. And I can't wait for the big.
I know, for all the
I
plans to
know,
fall into place.
I know. I'm just so
We're all
excited
excited
about
now.
that.
I'm a little jealous because I won't be here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, her husband's getting
We'll be moving.
You'll come back and visit.
yes. But she will be here for Kentucky Band's Bourbon and Wine.
Yeah.
She'll be
okay.
here. She'll still be here. She's still working
Okay,
on that.
good.
So she's still going to be on doing all that.
You'll be
So-
here in time for the crawfish bowl that we're doing
Oh,
April
see?
26th.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm putting that
Crawfish
on my
bowl.
calendar. I'm there. Give me a bib.
Well, I do have a question.
Yes.
If your bourbon had a personality,
Oh, goodness.
what kind of character would it be? The smooth talker at the bar or the storyteller by the fire?
It's definitely the storyteller by the fire.
And why would you say that?
Because our bourbon is one that's meant to be sipped. It's not a partier. Our bourbon is a nice sitting and sipping.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's interesting because I was talking to when I met her and when I was
Vanessa?
Vanessa, yeah. And I said, you know, I'm just, you know, I'm just not a bourbon person, right? And she said, well, you know, I wasn't either. She said, but by gosh, I am now. She goes, I learned to like it. And somebody taught her how to like it. It may have been you that sat her down and said, now do this. And she goes, and now I love bourbon.
Yeah.
The MB. So I was like, then you're going to have to probably teach me how to do that because every time I try and taste a different bourbon, I'm like, I don't know why. I can't, you know.
It's all on how you
It's,
drink it.
I guess it is. You know, because you like the bourbon. You
I
like
do,
bourbon.
and I didn't used to like bourbon.
Yeah.
And I have recently really started to explore and learn
Yes.
to love bourbon.
Yeah, and that's what I need to do. I need to learn to love bourbon. You know, it's just, it's not. I don't know. I guess because I'm just such a wine person too. I love wine, but and of course I like the I'm saying it on the mic, but lemonade.
It's okay. It's okay. And we can, you know, that's one thing when you do come to the distillery in our tasting room, you know, you can learn how to actually
Taste it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't take a shot.
No,
That's,
no. You just have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I think I probably need to learn because they said, Tracy and I, if somebody really showed you and you just tasted it a little bit, you would probably really like it.
Yeah.
And they're probably right. It's
And
just I've never,
repetition.
you know, yeah.
It's also repetition.
yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you're doing it, you know, once a month and you're sipping,
Right.
it's not that you can't get a feel for it,
Right.
but you really need to acclimate your palate because
Yeah.
it is a higher proof spirit. All of the things that we do, except for our bottle and bond, is still and barrel proof. Oh, barrel proof more so than still proof.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Because you didn't, and now you do. You like the bourbon.
I do.
Pam, you like bourbon?
I've always liked
Oh,
bourbon.
yeah, you like.
I like a bourbon cocktail.
Do you? You like the Manhattan, right? Is that in bourbon
You can
or
do
an old
or
fashioned.
or old fashioned?
Yeah.
depending on the day.
Yeah.
I even mix mine with a little bit of lemonade and a splash of grenadine on top.
Oh, that sounds good.
Now that sounds pretty.
Joys of bartending. Previously,
Oh, there you go. She's got some history.
Yeah, she's got some
Yes.
history there.
talking about bourbon, I have questions for you.
Oh, okay.
Shoot away, Pam.
Would you ever consider making a bourbon cream that people can put in their coffee?
Wonder what might be coming down the pike.
As making bourbon and coffee together, have you ever thought about doing bourbon infused coffee with your guys' brand on it?
We have not done that. There's a lot of controversy with caffeine and alcohol being mixed. So
I do it daily.
no, I'm thinking more along the Red Bull side of things. You know, there have been some stuff. So we may leave that one to you, but the bourbon cream and some other creams may be coming down the pipe.
Ooh,
Wow. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
that might be a little bit of a secret.
Y'all need to let me know. I'm not here.
Well, you know, she said that she can ship. You can ship
Yeah,
things
yeah.
now. So.
But it gives me a reason to come back if you pick it up for me.
Oh,
I got you, Pam.
I got you. Scarlett's got you, Pam. Okay, so rumor has it that some distilleries have secret barrels tucked away for special occasions. Got any insider scoop on that?
Well, we do, and a lot of other distilleries as well. They'll earmark barrels that you know they're going to be single barrels, or you know you want to add this particular barrel to a blend for whatever reason. One of ours that we just released was an 8-year-old corn whiskey that was had been set aside because we knew it was pretty special, and then it hit that 8 years, and all of a sudden it turned from great to magical.
Wow.
So that's what a lot of times distilleries do. They'll earmark one, and when it hits that certain season is when they pull it.
How many barrels do you have right now that's aging in your?
We've got around 1,200, 1,500.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but that's tiny. That is
That's-
tiny.
That's
In the distillery world.
seem tiny to
For-
me.
well, that's what I was gonna say. I guess it would. I mean, well, Bardstown. I mean, you go down the interstate in Bardstown, and you see like
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
oodles
Yeah.
and oodles and oodles
Of rick houses.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, some of these guys will do that in a day, in a day's worth of production. And that's
Well, they have a big production company.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Whereas
do.
you're small.
We're mom and pop.
Mom and pop.
We
yeah.
are.
And
And,
I always
we've
think
got
that's
some,
better.
we
Mom and
have some
pop's
other
always better.
investors and stuff like that, but, it's not some massive conglomerate that is, again, trying to take over an entire liquor store shelf.
Right,
you
right,
know.
right. So when you say that you're not in like different liquor stores, where is your product? Like, let's say in Texas, where is it in?
Specs is where you can find us in
Specs,
Texas.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
In like Clarksville, you can find us, and I really hate to single out specific stores only because I'm going to forget one, and I don't want to hurt
Right,
anyone's
right,
feelings.
right,
We
got
really
you, yeah.
appreciate
Yeah,
everyone's business.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's fantastic that you've got them all over the different states too.
Oh yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's wonderful. Kentucky based.
And it is. It's
I think
exciting.
I think
little
it's very
little
exciting.
video tiny town in Kentucky being
Yes.
represented.
Yeah,
all
I
over.
love that. I just think that is awesome. And I know that when we go to the trade shows and stuff, they do ask a lot of questions, and I don't have a lot of the answers, But now I have answers. Now I have answers for them, But so now that we know a little bit more of the background and all that stuff, that hey, this is what
You can just call me up anytime.
Yeah.
Hey, I need this
I got you on.
information.
Let me
call my lifeline.
I'll say, hold on, I've got to get somebody on speakerphone. Help!
I can do it. I got you taken care of.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, so the last one is bourbon drinkers can be passionate. What's the funniest customer request or tasting room moment you've experienced?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, they can be. And everybody's palate is different. So you have to listen to what folks say, but sometimes you also have to understand that they're coming from a different world of bourbon. If they've, let's just say that they're used to something that is mass produced, and then they taste ours, they're going to get a lot of corn notes to where in other bourbons they may not, because that food grade white corn just really comes through and it's so nice. But I will, and again, kind of like you like wine, sommeliers, they have a whole list of descriptions. In the bourbon industry, it's the same way, but you get some wild ones sometimes. And luckily, they weren't talking about our bourbon, but they were saying, "Oh, this is so good. It doesn't taste like that Band-Aid stuff we had at someone else's." And I'm going, "Well, that's different. I'm glad that we weren't the Band-Aid stuff."
Wow.
So yeah, you'll get all kinds of.
Do you have a
reactions.
lot of visitors that come through?
We do,
Okay, and then
yeah.
do they do a lot of the tasting, and then people just
They do, yeah. They you can come and sample as long as you're 21 and up,
right?
for free. We do offer some free tastings, but then you can get an enhanced tasting, and you can get a tour. You can get the distiller's tour where they start pulling from the barrels. You can do the founder's tour that comes with a bottle and bottle your own bourbon.
Oh,
Sign me up.
that. Wow. Okay.
So there's a lot, and then even Gretchen and Laura Lee. Gretchen is our lead blender and taster, and Laura Lee is sales and marketing. But they do Bourbon Beyond the Basics, so it teaches you a little bit even more depth. There's a huge, passionate industry behind bourbon.
Well, yeah, it's definitely, a bourbon is like Kentucky. We're actually going to Las Vegas in May, and it's for like a retail development and stuff. So a bunch of the different cities in Kentucky is going to go, and I just went and got some bourbon balls to give out.
I've been trying really hard not to steal any, okay? Really hard.
So yeah, and everybody knows that Kentucky is bourbon. So I think some of the some of the different cities are going to bring different bourbon and to give away for bourbons and stuff. And I was like, I wonder if Mary Beth will give me something so I can take it.
Can you please
Is
make
this your way of putting her on the spot and asking?
No, I would not do that to her.
See me after the podcast. I'm sure I can hook you up.
Say, hey, look, this is right down Oak Grove. You want to build an Oak Grove, and she's right around the corner, right
That's
there.
right. That's right. You don't have to get anybody.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, so it's going to be really kind of cool because we're there advocating for our area, you know,
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
developers to come and build and stuff. So we're really looking forward to that. I'm actually really excited. It's a big trade show in Vegas, so I'm really excited about
Very
that one.
cool.
Yeah.
And,
So.
Oak Grove is growing.
It is growing.
This whole
It
area
is,
is
and
just-
it's amazing how fast it's growing too.
It does seem like it kind of came overnight,
Oh,
doesn't it?
mhm.
Yeah.
And now with the Buc-ee's announcement, I think it's just going to be
More and more.
more and more and
Yeah.
more. So and the Wings of Liberty Museum.
Yes.
That
Very
is
nice.
coming, and you don't have to be military to get in. I mean, it's open to the public, so which is going to be really nice. Which is going to be good for Oak Grove and all of this area too, because when I do go and I go out for like different, if I start going to the bus tour things to get the bus tour, that is it. It goes in just to perfect for MB Roland, Oak Grove Racing Gaming, and then the the museum. So I can just imagine, how we can get bus tours in all through all of it. So
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it because years ago, I was on the board years and years ago of that. And then just of course it kind of died down and died off a little bit. So and now when they're going back and it's finally getting built,
Yes.
that is going to be so positive, I think, for our area. I think
I
for
agree.
Christian County, I think it's going to be really positive too.
I agree.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that too.
Yeah, there's so much entertainment-wise that's popping up. So.
Now, will you be doing like an entertainment in your on a maybe in a different phase in MB Roland?
We do
That
have.
you have
we do, yeah.
plans?
We've got plans to have a
Good.
large stage.
Yes.
We've got a natural amphitheater behind that dairy barn.
Mm-hmm.
So the new driveway, it'll be a new parking arrangement, but the new mural that we have,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to go in front of that, and then parking will eventually be behind the dairy barn. And so when you actually see that, and you see the rolling hills, I mean, it truly is the perfect
Perfect place.
amphitheater. And so we're going to have some industry experts to where you can do bourbon tastings, let's say with Fred Minnick, if I can get Fred out there.
Oh, nice.
I think he might be willing to come see us. But yeah, so we'll be doing some totally unique things for this area.
I am so excited. I really am excited when it all happens. And the timeline, because you're going to do it in phases, correct?
Yes.
Everything's going to be in phases.
Yes.
So what is your goal of totally completion?
My goal was yesterday.
To be determined.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. I truly hope we get at least 75% of it done before Buc-ee's opens.
Oh, yeah.
Because when that traffic starts coming in, the last thing I want is for everyone to be herded into that 900 square
I
foot
know.
gift shop.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, and which you look at the projections, Buc-ee's does what 3,000 to 5,000 cars a day. So if those cars have 2 people inside them, you're talking 6,000 to 12,000 people. If we get 1%
person.
of those visitors, I mean, the traffic through our gift shop will be nuts. So
Yeah, because it's like, here's Buc-ee's, and you go, and then you just turn down Pembroke. Oak Grove Road,
Literally,
and
yeah.
it's like right there. So
It's
I mean,
right
there could
beside
be, and I was
Buc-ee's,
thinking,
literally.
I know, and I was thinking, I wonder if they will be able to widen that road
I think there's plans in place for that. I do believe there's plans in place.
for your going down to your area. That I would hope so, because if not, that's going to be one congested area.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
believe. I know they were planning on putting in some of the roundabouts.
Yes, I knew about that.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
yeah.
I can't say it's going to be 4-lane or anything like that, but I do believe they're going to add some side
roads to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Again,
they're
I
going to have
hope.
to get to you.
Right.
Except for that 2-lane, because that's going to be, because it's going to be so busy, it's going to be so packed, especially when they see that and they see the signs and they go, oh, well, while I'm here, I might as well just,
That's
so
the hope.
that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. That's what we're.
It's gonna be good things.
It's gonna
Good
be all
things.
good things.
We are trying to prepare for it as best we can. You know, when we had the eclipse back in 2017,
Yeah.
we had 6,000 people on our property on that day.
Wow.
So we're used to hosting large
Right.
scale events and people. So
Right. Wow. See. So you got anything for Miss Maribeth?
I think I already kind of asked my questions.
Okay. What about you, Miss Pam?
Since I like bourbon, my question for you: what is your oldest barrel that you have that's untapped?
I don't do barrel management myself. But I'm going to say, since we pulled that 8-year-old corn, we probably have some 9-year-old still out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's like the longest you will keep it in a barrel?
That depends on the flavor profile. There's sometimes you can taste it at 2-year-old and you're like, okay, that's going to be a good one. You let it age. So on average, at a minimum, our stuff is aged 4 years.
Okay.
But something that's unique with our area in this region is we're a lot warmer than up in northern Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why these rick houses, they're going to hold maybe 50,000 barrels, and they stay cool. It's almost like its own microclimate in that. So they can age longer and not lose that angel share quite so much. Here in this area, with our rick house holding 6,000 barrels, it's going to age differently, and you're going to lose a lot more alcohol in those years, which will affect the flavor. So for us, our average is around 6 years old, to where it's like, yeah, that's probably in the sweet spot, 6 to 7, something like that, especially if we're pulling a single barrel. But I really don't see us doing anything in a 12-year-old range. I just don't. I think it'll be overaged.
Did you know, or did you learn on your own when Paul decided to do this? Did you know about how to do it, how to go about it? Did you know anything about distillery, or did you learn while you went?
We visited quite a few different distilleries along the way. Luckily, the industry itself is a very friendly. It's not like Pepsi and Coke wars or anything like that.
Right.
You can actually call up one of the other distillery owners and say, "Hey, this is going on. What do you suggest?" Because people are usually willing to share their knowledge. So we learned a lot as we went. That's why I was saying when we first started, we gave ourselves room to make a few mistakes.
Right.
But otherwise, as you go, you learn, the spirit starts telling you, if something isn't quite fermenting well, we've got people in the industry to call for that. And as the industry itself has grown, there are quite a few more contacts than when we first started up. When we first started up, you couldn't get small orders of glass. You'd have to buy a whole truckload. Well, gosh, it would take us years to go through that when we first started.
Wow.
And so, having said that, just the industry experts, there's a lot more folks with consultation capabilities, but by the time they came along, we had already self-taught ourselves everything.
Wow. Yeah, because I was, like I said, I wouldn't even know where to begin to learn how to do
Me either.
any of that stuff. So I think it's just, I'm in awe of you guys just knowing that so much experience and so much knowledge
It's
on
bourbon osmosis. That's what it is.
so much knowledge on the bourbon. Yeah.
Just bourbon osmosis.
So is there anything else that you wanted to share with us, Mary Beth, about anything MB Roland?
I think you guys have picked my brain. I'm happy to let you know about our hours or anything
Please
like
do.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're open 7 days a week. You can visit us from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Monday through Thursday, Friday and Saturday 9 to 6, and Sunday 1 to 6. We're starting to have more food trucks out there. We're going to get some yard games going.
Nice.
Just hang out. And in the next couple of months, you'll start seeing some of those changes. So,
I can't wait. And what's the address?
6534 Pembroke Oak Grove Road.
Wonderful.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
we'll be right back.
This is Lee with Gossip of the Week.
And we're back. Now it's time for Lee with Gossip of the Week. Come on, Lee.
We love gossip of the week.
How's it going? It's
Hey.
Lee with Gossip of the Week. Let's see what we got here. Got a little bit of tea.
Ooh.
So it's crazy. So speaking of a cat, you said you saw a cat that y'all have, right?
Yeah.
So we have a missing cat in Oak Grove.
It's not our cat.
And hopefully it's not that
That
one.
is not
because
her cat.
it is a black and white cat, okay? And it says, anyone missing this baby off of Hugh Hunter in Oak Grove, Kentucky. We couldn't catch him, but we assume that this baby will be back for seconds. And I see a plate of food.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 100% a lost cat. It's looking for its home, and we're trying to bring the cat back home, guys. So if anybody sees this cat, I'm gonna post the pictures. That's the only gossip I got is a lost cat in Oak Grove.
Hey, look, you got to think there could be a lot worse things to be gossiping about. We're doing okay.
I always ask Lee, is that all you got?
That's all I got. I'm trying to get better with it. And it was my first time going to Murder Mystery. I thought
Yes.
that was a great experience.
Yes.
It
It was good.
Just
yes.
wanted to throw that in there as well.
Yeah. Do you remember it?
Oh, yeah, of course. Good food, good time. A lot of cowboys. But that's a whole nother story.
Well, that sounds like that's the gossip we need to be listening to.
Let's hear more about these cowboys.
They
Right.
had cowgirls there too.
They
now.
did, they did.
Cowgirls and cowboys.
Yeah, cowboys and cowgirls. Quite the show.
Now I'm
No, it
really
really was.
interested.
It was really funny. But yeah, no, that's pretty much all I got, and I'm actually going to start filming this Friday
Oh, cool.
for
Oh,
my
you're-
movie Ghost Bridge.
Okay.
So
Nice.
a little gossip in the Grove, gossip
Maybe
of the
something will
week.
pop up while you're filming.
That's
Yeah.
right. I know something's going to pop up. Hopefully not another cat, because I don't know. I used to have a cat. I'm a cat person, so
Next week it'll be a dog missing.
I'm not going to cover that one. I'm sorry.
Or maybe it could be the truck coming out of the water. I don't.
Maybe. We
Is
have
it still there?
yeah.
It is still there. Look, this person doesn't want to claim this truck at this point.
They're too embarrassed. They're way too embarrassed. But yeah, that's all I got for Gossip of the Week.
Okay. Well, then we will see everyone next week.
Gossip in the Grove.
What's the gossip?
Gossip in